So let me start by saying balance on hand, it's free. You only have to pay if you want to back up your data and move your data between different devices, or you're concerned that you may lose your phone and you don't want to go ahead and re-enter all your data again. You just want to be able to have it backed up so you can move it from device to device. Otherwise, it's free. The .com site is where you can get information at. And to actually get to the app, you just click on Open App. But how does it help improve your credit score, right? For free. I don't think you have to pay people to improve your credit score. I think you can gradually get that score up. You see, the problem is when you don't see your future checking balance, or you don't see your future bills and how your future bills will affect your checking balance, that's where you get into problems, because a bad credit score starts off when you start paying your bills late. You start paying your bills late, that's going to affect your credit score. What else affects your credit score is when you take on too many responsibilities, meaning that the amount of bills or the amount of expenses start to equal how much you're bringing in for your income. For example, if you make $1,000 per month, but you only have $500 worth of bills, that is manageable, right? But as time goes by, if you start increasing your expenses, so that if you make $1,000 per month and now your bills are approaching $900 per month, then that only gives you $100 for the entire month. And if something happens, like an emergency, you get a flat tire, you have to do something, then that's when bills can start being paid late, and that's what affects your credit score. So what balance on hand does, once you put in all your bills and all your expenses, and you're honest about your bills and your expenses and what you're paying, and it can be adjustable too, and then you start putting your income in, and then once you do all that, if you go to balance on hand, let's go balance on hand. Let's go. What are we doing here? We can continue. Exit. Let's get out of this. Let's go here and reset this data. And let's go in as a new user. Let's load the demo data. So once you start putting in all your bills, and this is just demo data, right? We can look at, we have income sources. So that's just some income sources, and we have some bills right here. We look at some bills, right? So we got a couple bills right here. Once you put in your bills and your income, and you start looking at your projection, that's going to tell you let me see if I can increase this real quick. Okay, once you start putting in this data, that's going to tell you really quickly whether you're overextending yourself, or you're just, everything's fine. And what's good about balance on hand is right there, you see that config? That's your minimum threshold. If you ever go below that minimum threshold, let's suppose if we have that minimum threshold at 1,000. If you ever go below that minimum threshold, balance on hands will let you know that, hey, you're below it, something's going on, you need to check it out. But as long as you stay in the green, that's okay. So that's how balance on hand can help raise your credit score, because for the next 3 years, you can see exactly where you're at, where your income is at, and you can ensure that it doesn't dip below a minimum amount, or you're not overspending. Because if you overspend, what's going to happen is this can go into the red really, really quickly. And give you an example, let's suppose if I spend like $5,000, right? You see how I'm in the red? That was a bad decision. And by me spending $5,000 today, I'm not gonna get out of it. I'm just gonna be broke, or I don't have to use my credit cards all the way up until Christmas time, right? So let's see how that works. We'll talk more about this. Got 5 minutes in this video, but definitely gonna be talking more about this.